Howdy, hello, and welcome back. Today is another episode of Our Preferred Choice, where Amber and I rank our preferred queer icons.
Aww.
So today, Amber and I are back for another episode of Our Preferred Choice, and today, to celebrate the Pride season, because this is coming out on Pride, it's being filmed in April, but we won't talk about that. Anyways, to celebrate pre-Pride, we are going to be doing our preferred queer icons.
Yeah.
So these are going to be people who are either locally supported in the queer space, or they have done their time in the queer space. They may be allies, they may be queer people, but we all know them, and we all love them for things they have done for queer people.
Yeah.
And today we decided to dress up in our little queerest, prideiest outfit. We got American Gay Pride. And then we got our pansexual, transsexual pride over here.
Something sexual.
Anyway, so we're going to get started into it. If you have not seen an episode of Our Preferred Choice, one, what are you doing? Like, comment, and subscribe. Comment below what you would like to see us do in Our Preferred Choice, where we simply just go through and we put in order. Our preferred something. We've done our preferred Dragula entertainers. We've done our preferred Camp Wanakiki campy campers with Gina. And today we're doing our preferred queer icons. So for those who know, we always start with our dislikes. So for this one, of course we're not going to do dislike queer icons. So we're going to do people who are the opposite of queer icons. And I'm going to start with number 3 on my list, which is a very common one. Which is one that I cannot stand when it's brought up personally. There's always been a reason why I didn't like it. J.K. Rowling.
Oh, okay.
So I have always hated Harry Potter. And I've never understood the hype behind Harry Pothead. But then when all this stuff came out about J.K. Rowling, I was like, it makes sense.
So coming in number 3 for me, for my dislikes, is Jason Morgan. Jason Morgan is a Michigan politician, lawmaker, who was the one that just recently was actually one of the first ones to ask the Supreme Court to overturn same-sex marriage. So,
love that.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah. Keeping up with people who have not done good things for their community. Coming my number 2 spot is the one, the only Caitlyn Jenner. Malibu, baby! What a horrible person.
Yeah.
How can you be someone, a part of a community, and going for and openly supporting someone who is trying to destroy that community? But that's what happens when you look like a brick.
The one that was thrown at Stonewall.
She would never.
Coming in number 2 for me is Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
Because
this was a recent discovery.
Yeah, because, well, I personally have never liked Carrie Underwood, but for someone who knows for a fact that she has a huge queer audience, and to go out and do something very against the community.
My number 1 spot is the Pauls. So RuPaul, no, I'm just kidding. Logan Paul and Jake Paul. Pieces of very openly anti-queer, anti-LGBT. My biggest thing is they have done videos where they point out trans people and openly misgender them on the YouTubes, and I do not support that at all. They also make fun of, non-binary identities and it identities. They will call people a part of the non-binary community it's. And I do not with that.
I'm over that. So coming in number 1 for me is probably the biggest piece of trash out there in the entire world.
I feel like I know who you're gonna put, and
that is Chester Cheeto.
Oh.
AKA.
Yeah, of course, someone who is not for the community and not for what we are doing here.
And
so
not for the United States of America either.
As a whole.
Actually.
So therefore, since he does not support us, we are not going to support him on the channel. And we're going to flush all of those dislikes down the drain, and we're going to get started on our top 10. So coming my number 10 spot, I'm not going to lie, my first 2 are a little bit controversial, but they are still queer icons. That's just kind of why they're placed lower on the list. But coming my number 10 spot someone who a lot of people call mother is the one, the only RuPaul Charles, who has done a lot for the drag community and the drag, the face of drag as a whole. Really has changed, shaken up what drag is and what it can be. And of course, I feel like, you know, we had to give him some credit for that.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, there's the fracking.
Wow, good job.
However, allegedly, a new person has arisen. And I definitely think to some point we should give him credit.
Yeah. She was actually on my list, but I swapped out for somebody else.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I thought about doing that several times.
So coming in my number 10 spot for likes is the one, the only Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Barack Obama, I know this is probably a controversial thing, is one of my favorite presidents.
Obama, incredible queer icon. Love to see it.
I say, if Trump thinks he's going to run for a third term, so should Obama.
And an ally.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Coming in my number 9 spot is the one, the only Bette Midler. So Bette Midler has had some controversial things, but Bette Midler has openly apologized about those controversial things, dealing with the non-binary and trans community. But my main thing is Bette Midler has always been a huge supporter of the gay and lesbian community. Bette Midler is very old school, and it shows through a lot of things with not understanding a lot of things. However, I think whenever she takes the time to really develop and process it, she is very open to understanding things. And I mean, even recently, she just sold her Tesla because of, you know, the whole Elon Musk trying to take over the world. And I feel like that was the right move and the right decision, and has done several things for queer people during the HIV and AIDS crisis during the 90s. And literally wrote a song which was actually featured on RuPaul's Drag Race season 13, the finale, about her friends who had HIV and AIDS.
Yeah. Coming in number 9 for me is the one and only Boy George.
Yeah. We love Boy George.
Boy George is a huge queer icon and only but a goodie.
Yeah.
Boy George definitely
the
put
little
his time
hats,
in.
Though.
Yeah.
He looks kind of scary now.
It kind of gives almost like Curious George in a way.
Coming by number 8 spot, someone who also did music and was very openly known for their sexuality is the one, the only Freddie Mercury. So I put Freddie Mercury on my list because I'm obsessed with Queen, Freddie Mercury. I love all of their music. But 2, Freddie Mercury was, you know, very openly bisexual, and also very openly and outspoken about his HIV, which, you know, of course turned into AIDS. And he, you know, later passed away from.
Coming to number 8 for me is another queer icon and fabulous musical artist, the one and only Prince.
Yeah.
Prince is
Purple Rain.
Yeah, love me some Purple Rain.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, Prince is like, in a sense, what you said about Freddie Mercury. You know, he's an oldie and a goodie.
What I mean, the thing about Prince is, you know, he was never very open about his sexuality. However, it was very, even if he was straight, you know, he was touching into his feminine side, and I feel like that is something that should have been shared and needed to be shared, and has been, you know, a game changer since it has been shared.
Oh, 100%.
Coming on number 7 spot, going to the drag world, we have the one, the only Divine.
Okay.
So Divine is someone I kind of grew up on. Yeah, she literally was an eye opener for drag for me, and she really taught me that drag does not have to be serious. Drag is always going to be political, even if you make it political or not. I choose to not make my channel political because my mom always taught me never talk about religion or politics. She was very political just by being herself.
Yeah.
Nasty, rotten herself.
So coming to number 7 for me is the one and only Laverne Cox.
Okay.
First off, she's also a fabulous actress.
Yes.
If you have not seen her in Orange is the New Black. Yeah, she's very beautiful too.
Yeah, she also has a new series that I really, really want to watch. But it's on like Amazon Prime and I don't have that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do love her. Yeah. Trans activist, huge activist as a whole.
Spoke up quite a bit towards Trump.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Love her. Speaking of speaking up against Trump, coming my number 6 spot is the one, the only Patti LuPone.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, huge queer activist. A lot of the queer stan Patti LuPone. I immediately think of American Horror Story when she was singing in the little gay spa.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that was loosely based on a true story, and it wasn't actually Patrick LaPone.
Coming to number 6 for me is another oldie but a goodie. David Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
David Bowie. Huge queer icon.
Yeah.
Huge, very well known actually. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know who David Bowie is, you were probably born in the 2000s.
I was born in the 2000s.
You just happen to be cultured enough.
Anyway, speaking of being cultured, coming my number 5 spot, someone who I feel like is, everyone truly knows. The one, the only. You're gonna be shocked I didn't put her higher. Dolly Parton. Mm-hmm. Of course. So Dolly Parton, the only reason I didn't put her higher is because she has spoken up about queer people. She's worked with queer people. She worked with Mo Hart. She always says if she wasn't born, a woman, she would be a drag queen. She's very supportive. I do feel like she still supports other charities who do not support the queer community, which is very questionable. And she also could have spoken up a little bit more in situations, which she did not. However, of course, she is the one, the only queen. So had to put her at least on the list. And of course, I feel like a 5, the middle spot is perfect.
So coming in number 5 for me is one who has really made quite a bit of queer anthems, music-wise, and that is Madonna. Mm-hmm. She almost made my list. Madonna is definitely like a staple for the queer community.
Yeah, she did the tour, and she had Bob the Drag Queen and other famous entertainers, drag entertainers come up on stage. She's always going to be a queen for the queens.
Yeah, 100%, always.
Coming my number 4 spot, someone who was already mentioned, so we're just going to lightly pass over, is the one, the only Laverne Cox. Mm-hmm. I am obsessed with Laverne Cox. I am obsessed with everything she does. She's a great actress, a great dancer, a great singer. When she did Best Little Whorehouse, when she did Rocky Horror Picture Show, everyone was so upset. And she did so perfectly good, in my opinion. Her accent. Rocky! I love Laverne Cox. I love everything she's done. Incredible. She's so beautiful, too.
She is so pretty. Mm-hmm. So pretty. Mm-hmm. Coming in number 4 for me is the one and only Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
Would put her higher, but I feel like there are some trans icons that have her beat on quite a few things or certain things.
She is very open and accepting, but I feel like sometimes her heart gets hurt too well.
Yeah.
Before we get into the top 3, we're going to go over some honorable mentions. Coming on number 3 spot for honorable mentions is Kathy Griffin.
Yeah.
So Kathy Griffin is not only a huge anti-Trump, which we love, but she is also very supportive of queer people. She loves drag queens. She loves working with drag queens. Mm-hmm. And she's so funny. I love her take on comedy. She gets a lot of hate. Of course, she's had some controversial things, like, the whole Trump.
At this point, who hasn't?
Yeah, but we stand Kathy Griffin in this house, and I still, to this day, watch her specials.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Coming in number 2 for honorable mentions is the one and only Lady Gaga.
The monster herself.
Yeah.
Of course, this is someone who has been a person for like a queer space for people.
Very like the modern day Madonna.
Yeah, very much so. And still to this day, she's doing, going around for Mayhem and doing like open interviews and open discussions. And of course, she always brings up how much of a queer supporter. And she's been on Drag Race too, of course. So we love to see it. Yeah. Coming on our number 1 spot is the one, the only
Kay Ivey.
So this is more so of a joke because, she is our governor of Alabama and is secretly closeted a lesbian.
She's an OG lesbian.
Which we love to see. And I feel like she could really make some change in the great state of Alabama. She really would just come out and flourish. But
we're getting a slight increase.
That's for another day. That's for another discussion.
She likes her 5 seconds of fame, so she got it.
She will get booted out. She will come out of the closet. I promise you. Now it's time to get into our top 3. So our top 3 is going to be so juicy. Starting at number 3 spot, the one, the only icon, Billy Porter.
Okay.
Gay icon from Pose. Has done so many things for young trans and queer people.
So coming in number 3 for me is another musical icon, the one and only Cher.
We love a good Cher.
We love a good Cher.
Of course. And I mean, she's very, outspoken. She's definitely worked with the queens before. And she is a queen.
And she's done a lot of work within the queer community through all her years of living.
Yeah.
Because she is very, very young.
And, she has a child.
Yeah.
Who is trans.
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing, too.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Coming in my number 2 spot, someone you've already mentioned, and of course, who is a queer, strong ally, is the one, the only Obama.
Yeah.
Hands down, the probably the president who has done the most for trans and queer people. Either that or Joe Biden, honestly. But, of course, you've already mentioned most of it. Legalized gay marriage. Love to see it.
Yeah. Coming in number 2 for me is... So I did this one. Haha, teehee. Because he kind of brings in the real side of the queer / gay community, and that's Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
Because he brings in kind of like what the gay community is all about, in a sense, but like modernized with it. I love some Lil Nas X.
And we were literally, when we were getting ready, we were talking with one of my friends about how I was excited to see what he was working on. Because he's kind of been disappeared for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Coming at my number 1 spot, we're getting into it. So probably hands down my favorite queer activist, especially during the Stonewall riots. Someone who is constantly underlooked, a huge trans activist, the one, the only, Sylvia Rivera.
Okay.
Yeah. She did a speech that I wrote so many essays and papers on. She is a huge trans activist. And she really was one of the only people who stood for the trans people during the Stonewall riots. So, she's probably hands down one of my faves.
Yeah. To stack on top of that with huge queer icon, especially Stonewall riot era, is Marsha P. Johnson.
She's always the number one known for the Stonewall riots, and I mean rightfully so, but there are definitely a lot of people who need to be looked at as well.
Yeah. Well, and I also knew you weren't going to pick her because of that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I do want to put her because she still will forever, still deserve the shout out.
Hands down, look up the Quiet Down, Y'all Better Quiet Down riot from Sylvia Rivera, one of the most moving. And of course, she was also fighting for Marsha P. Johnson to get out of jail. Yeah. So that's going to do it for our preferred queer icons to celebrate the Pride season. Let us know in the comments below what you would like to see us do next. And Amber, where can they follow you on all your socials?
Yeah, y'all can follow me on all my socials at Amber_V_Valentine and the Valentine Vlog on YouTube.
Make sure to follow me on all of my socials at The Only Preferred for brand new looks, gigs, and brand new videos to come. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for a brand new video on the channel every single Sunday. And until next time, stay preferred.
Stay full of love.
And always stay queer. You forgot.
Yeah.
Until next time, stay preferred.
Stay full of love.
And always stay queer.
Like an icon.